Look, I know this one dropped a bit ago, but the fact that some of you still haven't touched it is an actual crime against humanity. Square Enix basically dropped this masterclass in Shibuya street culture and then advertised it like it was a generic mobile game. If you enjoy chaotic, frantic action where you control an entire party of fashionable dipshits simultaneously using every button on your controller, this is your jam. The soundtrack is a weaponized auditory dopamine hit that will literally live rent-free in your brain for months. Stop letting your nostalgia for the DS touchscreen hold you back. This sequel deserves so much better than the lukewarm sales it got.
Is she okay?
Silly boy!
What's
good!
When Square Enix announced they were giving this classic PS1 space opera the HD 2D glow up, the collective gasps of aging millennial gamers could be heard from orbit. Yet somehow, a bunch of you new-gen casuals completely ignored it. This isn't just a lazy upscale, it's a gorgeous reimagining of Claude and Rina's planetary misadventures. The real-time combat is so flashy it might trigger a seizure, and the item creation system is still delightfully broken. You can literally craft endgame weaponry in the first few hours if you know how to manipulate the RNG. It's old-school charm wrapped in modern luxury. If you're still waiting around for Nintendo to stop treating the Fire Emblem franchise like a waifu-gazing simulator, Sword and Axe LLC gave us the ultimate antidote with this tactical indie darling last year. It expands on the grid-based warfare of the first game, but dials the narrative complexity up to 11. The pixel art is crisp enough to cut glass, and the class trees are ridiculously deep. Seriously, you can customize your squad of traumatized soldiers into absolute engines of destruction. Plus, the developer just pushed out a massive localization and optimization update recently, making 2026 the absolute perfect time to colonize Veroa.
Time to blast! This spell's technically untested. Catch you on the other side.
Yes, it's the grandfather of the entire genre, but this gorgeous HD 2D makeover breathed entirely new life into Erdrick's legendary saga. If you skipped it because you thought, ugh, another old game, you missed out on one of the most visually breathtaking turn-based experiences available today. It brilliantly preserves that cozy, Toriyama-designed aesthetic while modernizing the pacing so it doesn't feel like a soul-crushing grindfest from 1988. The personality traits and vocation systems are addictive as hell. It's comforting, it's majestic, and it's a stark reminder that sometimes the old ways are still the absolute best. Adol Christine is back, and this time our favorite chronically shipwrecked redhead is taking to the high seas with a bunch of angry Vikings. Why did people sleep on this? Probably because the East series has always suffered from a severe lack of marketing budget outside of Japan. But the fast-paced cross-action combat system here is pure, unadulterated adrenaline. Swapping between Adol and Karya to unleash synchronized obliteration feels incredibly fluid. It's basically the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker if Link did lines of cocaine and wielded elemental magic. Before we continue the video, I want to inform you that right now, there are tons of crazy deals in instant gaming, especially if you love RPG games. Remember how expensive modern gaming lately? Well, not anymore, since you can get so many amazing titles with crazy discounts in instant gaming. Can you believe that just with $10 or even less than $5, you can enjoy one of the best gaming experiences in your life? Just look at these titles. It used to cost like $30 or even more than $40. And to make things even crazier, some games even drop so far to just $1. If you're a smart guy, you know what you have to do. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. This game suffers from what I call Fate franchise intimidation syndrome. People see the title and assume they need a PhD in visual novel lore just to understand who the historical figures are and why they are wearing skimpy outfits. But don't worry, this standalone action RPG is wildly approachable. Set in Edo period Japan, you play as Miyamoto Iori, hacking and slashing through hordes of enemies with your supernatural servant, Saber. The combat feels punchy, the historical atmosphere is incredibly thick, and the companion mechanics actually require genuine teamwork. It's easily one of the most underrated collaboration in years. The SaGa series has a reputation for being about as welcoming to newcomers as a hornet's nest covered in barbed wire. However, this full 3D remake completely shattered that stereotype while keeping the franchise's signature mechanics intact. You control a literal lineage of emperors, passing down skills across generations while fighting 7 fallen heroes who are thoroughly pissed off. It's non-linear, unpredictable, and the tactical depth is staggering. Square Enix actually put genuine budget into making this accessible without lobotomizing the challenge. If you want an RPG where your choices actually dictate history, stop ignoring this one.
Not today! Reel it in! Repent! We fight today!
After dropping as a Switch 2 launch window title last year, Square Enix finally brought this high-definition remaster of the 3DS classic over to PC and Xbox just a couple of months ago. If you missed the original because you refused to buy a dual-screen handheld, you have zero excuses left. The turn-based Brave and default battle mechanics are pure genius, letting you bank turns or lone actions from the future. It's basically Final Fantasy's spiritual successor with a gorgeous pop-up book art style and a twist ending that will completely melt your brain. After a literal 15-year drought of mainline entries, the Mana series returned with a vibrant semi-open world adventure that somehow got overshadowed by flashier autumn releases. It's a tragedy because this game is an absolute feast for the eyes. The elemental vessel system allows you to completely shift your party's classes and playstyles on the fly, making exploration and aerial combat feel incredibly dynamic. It captures that whimsical old-school high fantasy innocence perfectly without feeling outdated. Don't let the bright colors fool you. The boss fights will absolutely test your reflexes if you play on higher difficulties.
Thanks for the help.
Like the verdant forest, I thought.
For everyone who played Stardew Valley and thought, this is great but I wish I could summon an earth giant to crush my enemies, this Japanese-themed spin-off is exactly what you need. Moving away from the traditional European fantasy setting, Azuma leans heavily into gorgeous Shinto mythology. You're clearing spiritual corruption, restoring defiled lands, and of course, aggressively flirting with the local hot villagers. The blend of farming simulation, monster taming, and action RPG combat is smoother than ever. It's the ultimate ultimate cozy game with a katana attached, and it completely slipped under the radar of mainstream audiences.
One more push. Let's fold him.
The Tales community has been arguing about which game has the best combat for over a decade, and the correct answer is Tales of Graces F. This remaster brings the beloved PS3 title to modern consoles with all the DLC included, yet mainstream gamers barely blinked. The style shift linear motion battle system is an absolute masterpiece of mechanical design. It's fast, tactical, rewards precise dodging, and lets you pull off combos that feel like a high-tier fighting game. The story is a bit heavy on the power of friendship tropes, but the gameplay is pure god-tier ecstasy. This one started its life on mobile devices, which usually means it's infected with gacha microtransactions and stamina timers. But WitchSpring R is a complete premium story-driven remake built from the ground up for consoles and PC, and it is criminally adorable. You play as Pieberry, a cute little witch hiding from witch hunters in a forest. Don't let the sugary aesthetic fool you. The game features an incredibly robust training system, weapon crafting, and monster pet taming mechanics. It's an incredibly heartwarming indie JRPG that packs way more mechanical punch than games triple its budget. If you are a fan of old-school Final Fantasy V job systems, but also love the non-linear exploration of a Metroidvania, Crystal Project is going to ruin your life in the best way possible. This indie masterpiece strips away the endless, unskippable anime cutscenes and just drops you into a massive voxel art world. You explore, discover new classes, and fight brutally difficult turn-based battles where threat management and status effects actually matter. It's a pure gameplay-first JRPG that respects your intelligence and your time. It's shocking how few people talk about this indie triumph. Another massive win for preservation. Square Enix unleashed this gorgeous remaster of the 1999 PlayStation Classic last year, and it looks phenomenal. The original game's hand-drawn watercolor art style looks absolutely jaw-dropping in high definition. It features a grand, sweeping narrative that follows two entirely different protagonists over several decades. One a prince exiled for lacking magic, the other a treasure hunter. It's notoriously unconventional and doesn't hold your hand for a single second, but the satisfaction of sparking a new combat technique mid-battle is a high you won't find anywhere else. SaGa and Atlus dropped an absolute megaton bomb for Shin Megami Tensei fans when they remastered this PS2 cult classic. If you're tired of the typical high school Persona simulators, step into the shoes of Raido Kuzunoha, a supernatural detective in a fictionalized 1930s Taisho-era Tokyo. You investigate paranormal crimes, engage in real-time action combat, and summon classic SMT demons to assist you in battle. It's noir, it's occult, it has an incredibly jazzy soundtrack, and it features a talking cat. Honestly, what more could you possibly ask for in a video game? Written by Tadashi Satomi, the absolute madman behind the original Persona games, this is the sleek, stylish, psychological RPG you missed while waiting for Persona 6. The premise is wild. A group of people realize their perfect high school lives are actually a virtual reality simulation run by a well-meaning virtual idol, and they have to fight their way out. The standout feature is the imaginary chain battle system, which literally lets you preview the future timeline of your attacks to choreograph perfect counter combos. The soundtrack slaps, the character trauma runs deep, and the aesthetic is incredibly chic. From the team that brought you Octopath Traveler, this tactical RPG got buried under the sheer volume of strategy games releasing around it. That is a massive mistake because the political intrigue here makes Game of Thrones look like a playground dispute. There are no clear good guy choices. Every major decision requires you to convince your party members using the scales of conviction. One wrong move and your favorite ally might literally desert your army. The grid-based combat utilizes environmental hazards brilliantly, like electrocuting a puddle of water to stun a cluster of knights. It's a true masterpiece. This game became an absolute meme factory when it launched due to the main character, Jack Garland, being an angry nu metal listening Chad who interrupts boss monologues to blast Limp Bizkit style music. But behind the hilarious, edgy writing lies an absolute beast of an action RPG developed by Team Ninja. The job system is incredibly fluid, letting you swap between classes like Dragoon and Black Mage on the fly in fast, brutal Souls-like combat. It's campy, it's mechanically brilliant, and by the end, the story actually connects to the original Final Fantasy I in a genuinely mind-blowing way. For the ultra-nerdy roguelike enthusiasts out there, this prequel to the legendary sandbox RPG Elona entered early access and took the community by storm. It is an absolutely unhinged top-down sandbox JRPG where freedom is taken to a ridiculous extreme. You can build a house, farm, cook, become a traveling musician, or delve into procedurally generated dungeons to slaughter Lovecraftian horrors. The humor is pitch black, the mechanics are incredibly deep, and the emergent gameplay scenarios are wild. You can literally die from drinking bad milk or getting kicked by a radioactive horse. It's pure chaotic sandbox perfection. Closing things out with a massive surprise that a lot of casual fans completely missed. Stepping away from the traditional structure, this unique entry serves as a fascinating prequel anthology to the established Octopath universe. It utilizes that legendary, gorgeous HD 2D engine to tell tighter, more interconnected stories of a previous generation of travelers. The break and boost combat system remains one of the most satisfying turn-based loops in gaming history, and the audio design is nothing short of a religious experience. If you thought the series was getting stagnant, this experimental entry completely rewrites the rules.
The rhythm is broken.
Prepare yourself. Cumbersome.
Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that there are other games that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your favorites that probably deserve the spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe the channel if you don't want to miss another great list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace!